regarder ce que les autres médias disent sur un sujet. Si aucun journal, aucune chaîne de télé, aucune radio n'a parlé d'une info, eh bien c'est probablement qu'elle est fausse.
Hundreds of survivors of child sexual abuse in the nation's institutions will gather at Parliament House in Canberra this morning for an apology from the Prime Minister.
On the 22nd of October 2018, Parliament House opened its doors to abuse survivors and their supporters for the apology by Scott Morrison.
There was a lot of people waiting for a long time for this apology. We felt like we were a part of history. We wanted it to be the moment of change. We really believed that this was the turning around of the tragedy of sexual assault against children in the nation.
Government business, notice number 1, motion relating to the national apology to victims and survivors of institutional child sexual abuse.
At 11 a.m, the Prime Minister rose to deliver the historic speech.
I move that the House apologise to the victims and survivors of institutional child sexual abuse. It happened anywhere a predator thought they could get away with it, and the systems within these organisations allowed it to happen and turned a blind eye. It happened day after day, week after week, month after month, decade after decade. Unrelenting torment.
The speech was received, I think, tremendously well. It was taken in the spirit that it was offered, which was, I think, a spirit of generosity, a spirit of repentance and regret. And that's something that survivors of sexual abuse don't often get. They don't often get someone saying, I'm sorry that this has happened to you. I regret that this has happened to you.
The crimes of ritual sexual abuse happened in schools, churches, youth groups, scout troops, orphanages, foster homes.
But close observers of the process were taken aback by the use of the phrase ritual sexual abuse.
Ritual child sexual abuse wasn't a focus of the Royal Commission. It wasn't evident in the reports or in the recommendations. And so certainly there were questions about where did this phrase come from? How did it arise? How did it come to be in the Prime Minister's speech in the manner that it was? I'm in contact with international networks of mental health workers particularly who treat children and adults who have been subject to sexual exploitation. And I was contacted, I was emailed, people reached out about this phrase. It is a phrase that we're aware of, it's a very sensitive phrase.
The use of the phrase ritual sex abuse would have been taken as validation of the conspiracy theory by QAnon followers because it's a person in authority using this phrase which appears to directly reference the conspiracy theory.
The Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet was also asked about the inclusion of the phrase ritual abuse in the 2018 apology.
So there's an allegation that there were changes to the speech, including, and this seems far-fetched, but I think it would be useful to put it to you to make sure it's refuted, that this close associated urged a change to the Prime Minister's speech to use a different word, the word being ritual. So I'm just thinking, I'm asking, can we use this opportunity to make clear that isn't the case?
So, Senator, I don't know. Okay. I've just asked all of my staff openly if anyone has any information. It would appear that the answer is no. Okay. So the best I can do is take that on notice.
Okay, that's fine.
No answer to that question was provided.